How's it going, bro?
What's up, AJ Rage? Let's try this again.
Yeah, let's give it another shot. Hit me with your best shot. That was a good little fight, you know. What would you take on that fight?
Well, let's plug everybody into what's going on tonight. We are live for the Julio Cesar Chavez Daniel Jacobs super middleweight fight taking place at Talking Stick Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, downtown Phoenix, I believe. Live on DAZN. Round by round analysis. The co-main event just finished. Martinez wins the vacant WBC flyweight title with an eighth or ninth round stoppage over Rosales from Nicaragua. Ninth round stoppage. Good little fight. I mean, honestly, after 3-4 rounds, I thought the fight was gonna. I thought it was going to be a 50-50 fight, but Martinez started pulling away just on sheer aggression. And remember what I said? We both said it right when the fight started. This guy's his plan A is going to be get close and let your hands go. And what do we say for Rosales? You got to keep it. You're the taller, longer fighter. Keep him at bay, jab, and fight your fight. And more often than not, with these, it's a battle of wills. Who's going to impose their will on their opponent? One guy concedes, and as a result, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Martinez is now the WBC flyweight championship. It was a vacant title, vacated by who? Charlie Edwards, you said, right?
Charlie Edwards, yeah. It was based off of their first fight together. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're here. I mean, it's been a long day of boxing. Me and AJ spent earlier today at the Toyota Arena covering the weigh-ins for tomorrow's Fox Sports 1 and Fox broadcast of the Tony Harrison Jermell Charlo rematch taking place tomorrow in Ontario, California. That was a good experience today. It was fun. But, I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but right now we're focusing on this card, the zone card. It's great for a Friday night. I mean, I love nothing more than getting fights on Friday nights, getting fights on Saturdays, and getting fights sometimes Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the morning with these platforms, whether it's ESPN Plus or DAZN or PBC. I mean, as a boxing fan, I think we're blessed right now.
A lot of boxing, I'll tell you that.
A lot of boxing.
I'm still not
the biggest fan of the streaming platforms, but I will say this though, we are getting more fights than we've ever gotten in my lifetime.
Yeah. And we're getting better at doing what we're doing. I mean, we're still running into hiccups, but, it's not our fault. It's unfortunate, but, I'm not going to try to point fingers at anything, but I'm just going to say, gamers out there killing us, man. They're taking all the bandwidth.
Damn gamers.
Stop playing so many games.
Get a girlfriend.
Get a damn girlfriend.
But then again, when you think about it, it is Friday night. I mean, how often do we do broadcasting of a fight Friday night? Most of the time, the fights are Saturdays. Saturday late afternoon into the evening, and it's Friday night. And I'm shining.
Did you ever? Yeah. Am I shining?
We used to say that back in the day. Well, I'm shining.
I learned a trick about that. About getting rid of that. When the ass gaskets in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
You take some of that and I swear the other day I did it. I was getting ready to go to the store with Mika and I looked at it. I was like, holy moly. I go, I got an oily face. I go, I could cook bacon on this thing. I had so much grease on this piece of paper, dude.
Okay, we're getting a shot of downtown Phoenix right now. It looks like a good night in Phoenix, man. Phoenix is a good city, man. Phoenix is a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun there. Phoenix is nice. Gilbert, Scottsdale. I like Arizona.
Hey, Cole, can you bring me a cup? Yeah. So what are they showing here? Some MMA? Oh no, there we go. Oh god, Andy Reese.
That was Doheny teacher.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed. They shouldn't be allowed to show the first.
See that punch right there that Andy landed right on the back of the head. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about. Look at it. I'm going to put that down on our notes. We are going to talk about that after this main event. We're going to talk about the amount of rabbit punches that are being thrown in boxing today, and several in this fight tonight. On this card tonight, Maurice Hooker won by first round stoppage earlier tonight and landed 3 clear rabbit punches. One of them while the fighter was down, and not so much as a warning from the referee. Referee who shall remain nameless because I've never seen him before and I don't know his name.
Well, not only that, it was the fight even before that the guy, he did it too. He out of the 3 knockdowns, 2 of them, including the one that ended the fight. No, I take that back. That was 4 knockdowns. 1 to the body and then the other 3 to the back of the head. So I
Yeah,
mean,
this is the trend in boxing right now. These fighters are throwing rabbit punches, and they're going to continue to throw and land these shots until these referees start making an example and start from the. I mean, they look at. We said this earlier. They go into the dressing rooms and they say, "Listen, no this, no that, no hitting on the break. When I say break, break. If there's a knockdown, go to neutral corner. No rabbit punches." Queensberry rules of boxing is probably on the one of the first and most important rules. No rabbit punches.
well, if you need to see the effects through all the tragedy that we've gone through this year, just go back to the fight between Gerald McClellan and Nigel Benn.
Oh yeah.
And in that fight, Gerald
Oh,
McClellan took so many punches to the back of the head from Nigel Benn. And the accumulation, basically, the final result was Gerald McClellan's demise. Not in life, but as a fighter.
As a fighter,
now he's
and
basically
more importantly in life, he's been pretty much not a vegetable,
but he needs constant care around the corner. I mean, around the clock. He's blind. Yeah. He's legally blind. He can't walk. His sister takes care of him. Matter of fact, maybe sometime this week we'll put it up. I saw they put something out there. There is a fund out there where you can, if you got a few extra bucks, you can give it to a great champion, great former Kronk fighter, and John McClellan, a guy that
God knows how good he could have been.
Oh yeah, he was
he was a devastating puncher. He was, yeah.
So they're showing real quick. So John McClellan's out there. Hey, you still got a lot of fans out here that's still watching what you do. So we're sitting here looking at the size comparison between Jesse Vargas. Once again, I'm gonna say, Mikey Garcia. When we were at Staples Center, we were down there with Johnny Molina, and Mikey Garcia.
He's a small guy.
He is a little guy. Okay.
He's 5'7", if that.
If that. I'm 5.
But his head is huge.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's an easy target. But what I'm saying, he doesn't come off. If you saw Mikey Garcia, coming out of a bar, and he came up and said, "Hey, give me the money in your wallet," you wouldn't be scared unless he's got a gun in his hand. I mean, you're like, dude, get out of here. It's like, he's not a menacing person. I looked at Johnny and I was like, how can you? Can you get a fight against a guy and beat this guy or what? Dude, you're a monster compared to him.
Yeah. Right. So right now it looks like Michael Buffer's in the ring, and looks like they're making some introductions here. They're introducing Mikey Garcia. I don't understand why the fight's not taking place in Arizona. It's taking place in Frisco, Texas. So, but they're doing a stare off here, center of the ring, Mikey Garcia versus Jesse Vargas. You can see the clear size advantage Jesse has.
I think Jesse beats him, bro. I honestly think Jesse's going to beat him handily. I think because Jesse's got pretty quick hands. He's strong. I wouldn't call him a devastating knockout puncher, but he gets people to accumulate punches. But he's hurt some good fighters, and Jesse's going to bring it. And Jesse's a guy who fights with the chip on his shoulder. He fights with aggression.
And I was never present for them, but I can almost guarantee that over the years these guys' paths have crossed, and there's probably stories out there of them sparring multiple rounds together. I do believe at one point, Robert Garcia might have even trained Jesse Vargas for a short time. I mean, Jesse Vargas has had 9 or 10 different trainers in his career. He's bounced around quite a bit. So, but look at when they announced this fight, it didn't really excite me. I mean, I'll watch it because it's on the DAZN platform, and as a DAZN subscriber, we'll watch the fight, obviously, and we'll probably cover it that night. But I'm just glad Mikey Garcia is not getting that shot against Manny Pacquiao or even. I mean, there was incremental talk of him challenging Danny Garcia, and once the Garcias barked back and said, "Let's do it," they quickly went the other way. They played like ding dong ditch. They knocked on the door and then they ran really quick, and then right, because
I'm just kind of astonished. I mean, I know Mikey's small. I mean, we've been in his presence quite a few times, but Jesse, I mean, there is a huge size compared. Jesse's big compared to really big. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just wondering what it is that Mikey Garcia could bring to this fight to beat Jesse. If he was a master boxer, he has an opportunity. He's not a master boxer. He's going to try to be the tough guy, and you can't be a tough guy against Jesse Vargas.
Well, here's the thing. He's going to try to fight the fight similar to what we just saw. With being the smaller man, he's going to try to stand there and trade. Now, if Jesse needs to utilize his advantages in size, you've got the reach. Jesse moves pretty well. I mean, and he's got a good chin. and I think he got dropped by Pacquiao, I believe, right? But they weren't devastating, knockdowns, right? But
No, but he did made a good account of himself though. He fought.
no, he did. He made a good account. He lost a decision, I believe, to
Yeah.
Pacquiao, but he, so. This is, I guess they're just killing some time here before the main event, but we are minutes away from the main event.
Let me see what
Daniel
this.
Jacobs moving up to 168.
This is a fight that the fight fans want. The minute we announced it, they were all excited for it. So I'm excited to give this fight for the fans. Mikey's a great fighter, and I think that we both are focusing on the task at hand. Everyone here knows about boxing and knows that this is a real fight. There's only one or two comments that I've seen on social media where they're looking ahead. They're pretty ignorant comments saying Manny Pacquiao might be next, but you know what? This is the fight that we need to focus on.
Dude, Mikey Garcia is not going to get Manny Pacquiao. Jesse Vargas has got a better shot at getting a rematch against Manny Pacquiao than Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is. I don't see how he's going to win this fight. I'm really trying to understand how he's going to win this fight. You know.
I'm right at the cutoff mark. I'm between 54 and 47.
Yeah, we'll see. And like I said, Jesse's doing his job right now to try to sell the fight. He's obviously going to try to be maybe, what
Now,
do they say in wrestling terms, the heel?
Are they fighting at 147?
147.
Oh my goodness.
And Jesse's been fighting at a higher weight. I mean, just a
154.
few months ago, he was, calling out Jaime Munguia at 154, and then was complaining that the fight wasn't going to get made at 154. Jaime wanted a catch weight of like 156 or something like that, but whatever. But so like I said, I mean, yeah, early predictions, I think Jesse Vargas wins this fight, just like you said, on sheer size alone, on sheer size and strength alone. And it's not that he only has the size and strength. Jesse Vargas is a good boxer.
He's a good boxer, but he's got good recuperating skills. He's shown it time and time again in fights, something Mikey Garcia didn't show in the Errol Spence fight. Once Mikey Garcia saw that he was being basically handled, he kind of went into this box and went into a very defensive mode. I can't really think of one fight where Jesse Vargas has ever come out of a round and said, hey, I'm just going to take it. He always tries, and he's going to bring it. And like I said, I mean, to me, it's I know it's an interesting matchup. Visually, Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas, but on paper, it's not. It's not. To me, it's not really that interesting because I think Jesse Vargas wins this fight, and I think he makes Mikey Garcia look ordinary. I honestly, based on Jesse's sheer aggression, I think Jesse Vargas got a good opportunity to be the first guy to stop Mikey Garcia.
Never know. You never know.
So I see DAZN here's got a lot of their fights coming up.
So let's talk about the main event tonight. Obviously, as we all know, I mean, this is Daniel Jacobs' first foray into the 168-pound division. This fight, it's not being fought at a catch weight, but technically Chavez missed weight by just shy of 5 pounds. Had to pay a hefty fine of, they say, $1 million fine. $1 million to make this fight, to keep this fight happening. But ultimately, if Chavez did not fight this fight for whatever reason, this entire card probably would have got scrapped.
Oh, absolutely.
Because no disrespect to the undercard, but nobody on that card could sell this fight. Daniel Jacobs could not sell this fight on his own. Being in Phoenix, Arizona, I mean, Chavez does have a lot of fans in and around the Phoenix area. And my brother AJ, you made a good point earlier. We were talking earlier today, and you said, from 168 and above, Chavez has been successful. So he weighed in at 172.7, so just under 173, and this is Jacobs' first fight at this weight. And Jacobs looks good physically; he looks good, looks strong. But I think in the ring, you're going to see that he's going to be the smaller man. And as of late, he's been the bigger man. He was bigger than Canelo. He was bigger than Triple G.
He's bigger than Demchenko.
Derevyanchenko bigger, but he's going to be the smaller, physically smaller man. They said Chavez they were shocked that he missed weight because they said he had a great camp. He was showing up, training every day. He was training at the Wild Card here in LA. I don't think he was training with Freddie, but he was just utilizing the Wild Card gym. But I mean, look, I know on paper,
he is with Freddie Roach. He's been with Freddie Roach almost its entire camp. They were talking about it earlier. His dad was there. His dad was one of the ones that basically told his son, you need to go back. So he has been working.
Well, that's weird because I saw video footage of him working mitts, and it wasn't with Freddie.
Yeah, but he has been working with Freddie Roach in Wildcard.
Oh, okay. So was Freddie there today? Freddie's working in the corner today?
I have no idea. I think I did see him there, but we'll see right now. I know I was too fixated on Chavez's blonde hair. It was a very unusual thing to see.
I don't think Freddie Roach, because I'm gonna tell you why, because they already would have had multiple interviews with Freddie Roach.
They did
I do
say
not believe Freddie. I do not believe Freddie Roach is training is working the corner for this fight. I do not believe so.
well, but no, I'm just saying, but they did say he was back. That his dad told him because they showed him and his dad in the back dressing room, and his dad was talking to him, senior, and he was basically they were saying how his dad was the one that was, like the power behind, telling him, hey, you need to go back to Freddie Roach. You need to go back to when you were what you were doing when you were successful, when you were the former WBC middleweight champion. So, that's where we're at tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see though. But like I said, I mean, getting back to what we talked about briefly, if you look at Chavez's history between 160 and 175, he is comfortable. His successful weight has been 168. Now, yeah, granted, he came in a couple pounds over. That's not going to affect. I mean, that's not a big deal. That's just whatever. I do believe he's had a really good camp. I've also heard that he's had a really good camp. He seems like he's been very positive about what he's doing. He looks confident about, he looks in great shape. Looks in much better shape than I've seen him in quite a while.
Yeah, he looked in good shape at the weigh-in. I mean, he didn't look flabby at all. I mean, he looked in good shape. I mean, and like I said, he's a big kid. He's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, he is.
If not a little bit taller than 6 foot.
No, he's a little big. He's a little bigger than 6 foot. I would say I would think say he's ventured more about 6'1", 6'1.5", maybe
just shy of 6'1", maybe. But Jacobs is listed at 6 foot, so he did look a tad bit taller. So, but physically, I think he's the bigger man. I think he has the natural propensity to just be a physically bigger man. I mean, if Chavez wasn't training and wasn't boxing, he'd probably be 250 pounds. He's a big kid.
And Jacobs is always considered somewhat of a big guy for the middleweight division.
Yeah, he's always been bigger, like I said, and bigger than most of the fighters that he fights. But Jacobs has.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the thing is that there was no. And I know people are going to say, well, that's here or there. There was no testing ground. Jacobs didn't venture into this weight and take on, say, a guy who's, just outside the top 10. And I understand people are going to say, well, maybe Chavez is a burnout. Maybe he's this. We don't really know what's going on in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s head. At the end of the day, he does come from great pedigree. Whether or not, he is able to have that whatever it was that made his dad successful, but that same blood runs in his veins. Sometimes fighters...
And he's had some successful fights against some good fighters. I mean, he's beaten some good fighters.
He's beaten a lot of good fighters.
But Ryan Vera, I mean, he was this close to beating Andy Lee. He was this close to beat... Matter of fact, that was probably his best performance of his career was against Andy Lee, in a fight that I don't think anybody thought...
That was a great fight.
Yeah.
That was a really good fight. But like I said, going back and that thing, it was just like... Even if you go back to his fight to... Chavez's fight against Sergio Martinez. He dropped Martinez in that fight. He had Martinez hurt in that fight.
In that last round, he almost had him out.
The thing is that he showed flashes of, it's hard pressed to say greatness, but he showed that he's legitimate when he wants to be against legitimate guys. And at the time, Sergio Martinez was considered one of the top pound for pound guys in the world. And the thing is, he had his little spell where he had some issues and stuff, and I don't like, talking about people's issues, whatever was going on with Chavez, but he's back. He's rededicated himself, We just have to question, depending on this performance, you're really going to have to ask yourself, does Junior want to do this anymore? Or is he just doing this?
We'll know probably real quick. Like,
if he does...
He's going through the motions for a payday, or if he really believes that he can make some noise in this division, And
he just doesn't come off to me as the kind of guy that would come in just for a payday. I don't think that no amount of money is going to take his dad's voice out of his ear if he loses a fight based on a payday. He'll have to hear that every day when his dad's making, yeah, why did you do that? And that kid could handle that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this. I think on paper it looks good, but I think this could be a dangerous fight for Daniel Jacobs for a couple of reasons. One, his age. Daniel's starting to get up there a little bit. He's been in some ring wars. His fight with Canelo Alvarez, his fight with Triple G, amongst others. His fight with Derevyanchenko was not an easy fight. He took a lot of punishment in that fight. And you've noticed this in his fights as of late. He's taken a lot of punches. So definitely the fresher fighter is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's definitely going to be the fresher fighter coming into this fight. Even though he's had the longer time off being the fact that his only fight as of late was, what, 7 months ago against Bravo, which was a first round knockout. So you really can't put a lot of weight on there. But, Jacobs has a tendency to look really good in camp, look really good in video, and just not bring those dynamics to the ring. He hasn't done it.
Yeah.
If you look at some of when he's put on that plateau, those big fights, Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, he failed the test. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens tonight. Like I said, I'm not saying that Chavez is past those tests, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't even look at Chavez's loss or even try to measure his loss against Canelo with Daniel Jacobs, because Canelo made Chavez fight at a catch weight of 164, and this guy literally, they had to wheel him to the ring like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, he looked really
dead,
gaunt on that.
Yeah.
See, they're showing footage right now of him working mitts with. I mean, the guy looks familiar, but obviously it's not Freddie Roach. But so we'll see. I don't believe Freddie Roach is here working this fight with him. But like I said, and at this stage in his career, Chavez knows what he needs to do in there. It's a matter of preparation and mindset.
Exactly.
He knows what he needs to do. No trainer. You can have a reincarnation of Emmanuel Stewart in custom model tomorrow. It's not going to change him as a fighter. Exactly. It's all in here. It's the mental and physical preparation. And if he's done the work physically, that will prepare him mentally. And then we'll see him. We'll get a good fight here, maybe. I mean, I want to see a good fight.
I definitely would like to see a good fight. I mean, I think we really need. I think this is a must-win for both fighters. A must-win for Daniel Jacobs to keep himself relevant, to really make a step, because obviously Daniel Jacobs wins here. This could create possible matchups against guys like Callum Smith, possibly David Benavidez, which I would completely avoid, but that's on him. Chavez wins here.
One of the Durrell brothers, Anthony or Andre Durrell. I believe one of the Durrell brothers fights tomorrow in Ontario.
If Chavez,
but I mean that's an interesting matchup. I'm sorry. Is it at 175? You've got Pascal fighting Badu Jack coming up shortly in a couple of weeks, I believe. It might be next week, I believe. Am I right? John Pascal is defending his newly won title over Badu Jack.
Yeah, and the thing is that when you look at this fight too, there's a lot of possibilities that can be built off of this fight. Either Daniel Jacobs or Julio Cesar Chavez create an interesting opponent for either Callum Smith or David Benavidez. Now, I know a lot of people say Benavidez is a monster, which I do. I agree. And I know you think the same way. He's a monster. Oh, yeah. I wasn't too impressed with Callum Smith's last performance. He looked very ordinary to me. He looked very beatable.
Being on the same platform, bro, that's obviously, that's probably what they're working towards.
And yeah,
they're not working towards a Danny Jacobs versus Canelo Alvarez rematch at 168. None of that is in the works. It very possibly could be. It could be Billy Joe Saunders against Daniel Jacobs.
Well, here I got a better scenario with the way that the 168 division is starting to beef up a little bit. You remember back years ago when that Andre Ward and all them were involved, which was a Super Six. So let's say right now we put together a Super Six. You got Callum Smith, Daniel Jacobs, Julio Cesar Chavez, Billy Joe Saunders, and then you throw in a few others. You know what I'm saying? That's a very interesting Super Six. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be what it is. But like I said, I mean, this is a very important fight, I think, for both of these fighters. For Chavez to prove that he's not what people think he is. I think Chavez is fighting more, not just for money. I think he's fighting just to say, "Hey, I'm a real fighter. I'm not just."
He's trying to preserve his name.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say like, "Hey, I'm just daddy's little boy, and I got opportunities I didn't deserve." He wants to tell people, "Hey, listen, my dad did what he did, and this is what I'm doing." I'm a former champion. I won the title. Nobody handed me the title. He had to win those fights in order to get to where he had to be. And so he's here to prove that. And Daniel Jacobs, Daniel Jacobs, I want to be honest with you, he just looks like a great guy. Obviously, he's going to be wearing the Patrick Day memorial trunks tonight, which is, I think, is just shows.
You're right. Chavez did dye his hair blonde.
Yeah, this just shows you the type of person that Daniel Jacobs is. Obviously being a person who's a survivor himself. I mean,
and both New York natives. I'm sure he knew Patrick Day very well.
Exactly.
Probably trained in the same gyms for over the years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, boxing's a small world. So I mean,
very small world. All right, so right now they're making their ring entrances, and I do like the platinum dye job. Chavez dyed his hair blonde.
A little different. Kind of gives a little
different. He looks, bro. He looks motivated.
That's what I was trying to convey earlier a little bit too. Was the fact
Which Chavez are we going to get tonight? The one that was masterful against Andy Lee, or the one that I don't know, the one against Fonfara who retired because of
a shoulder
a
injury.
questionable injury. So we'll see.
Right, see, there's Freddie Roach right there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Freddie Roach is in the corner.
Told you.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny because I could have sworn I read somewhere where Freddie says, "No, you can train here at the gym," but So we'll see. I mean, we'll see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Like I said, I mean,
Like I said it earlier. Freddie's not going to change his fighting style, but what Freddie can do is preparation. And if Freddie has a system, he says, "Here's my system. We spar these days. We train these days. I need you running here. I need to be checking your weight periodically here." And if he keeps him on that very strict physical regimen, it will mentally prepare him. So that definitely is a plus. But like I said, no trainer is going to change a fighter's training style this late in the game. It just doesn't happen.
No, but I think one of the advantages that Freddie has in this camp is the fact he's worked with Chavez before. So it wasn't like an unfamiliar grounds. He's been there before. He knows. He worked with him for a while, so he knows what he can do and what he can't do. But I'm pretty sure he had some strict guidelines where he said, "Hey, listen, if we're even going to do this again, this is what I need," and stuff like this. So obviously Chavez met those, and here they are tonight. So we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what the end result is.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
So,
I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen here. I mean, I think the first round is going to say a lot.
And this is the fight. Like I said, this is a fight on a Friday night. This is a Friday night fight, and very rarely do we get fights of this caliber on Friday night. Most of the time they're on Saturdays. So it's a little end of the week treat bonus for, if you will, for boxing fans. Now it looks like they got a great crowd here at the arena.
Yeah,
it looks like it's not a sold out, but it's pretty damn full. So that's a good thing,
Oh, absolutely.
Phoenix is a hotbed of they love their boxing in Phoenix, that's for sure. How's my volume? Can you hear me well?
Your volume sounds great. Mine sounds better than mine. Oh, it's been a long day. Did you drink coffee or something or what? Did you drink a Red Bull?
Yeah, I had a coffee a while ago, and I started. Honest to God, I started getting tired. But once I saw all the build up for this fight, it woke me up again. This is good. I'm excited about this fight. I want to see a good fight.
Well, there was a point this week, if you remember earlier, we had talked, and you were like, you didn't think this fight was going to happen.
No, I don't think. And nobody thought it was going to happen. Everybody thought, is this going to happen? Yeah, there you can see his man. That's an amazing. I like that robe. Look at that robe. Pat Day all day. It says on there, and it's got a picture on the back. On the picture on the back, and it almost appears as wings are coming in. I got to say, that is a throwback style boxing robe, right?
Yep.
And it's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful thing.
It shows.
Daniel Jacobs is an old school fighter, man.
He's like Tony Harrison. He's an old school guy, no nonsense guy, big heart. He's been in the trenches, and he's been to the promised land. And I'll tell you something right now. He's a guy that nobody can look past. He's got the ability to not only beat Chavez, he's got the ability to end Chavez. But as far as Chavez ever stepping in the ring again. But
and they're showing the odds right now, the Vegas odds. Jacobs is a 15-1 favorite.
That's huge.
And wow, that's huge. Yeah. I was thinking maybe more like a 5-1, 7-1 kind of favorite, but 15-1. That's basically showing Chavez no respect at all.
Well, I could tell you something right now. I'm you know me, bro. I'm always about the eyes. I'm a person who's keen on a person's their mannerism, the thing. And I'm telling you now, Chavez, he's looking through Jacobs right now.
He's got a very determined look in his eyes. He won't take
his eyes off him. You know what that tells me right there? He's ready. He is absolutely ready to shock the world. And it starts tonight.
So here we are with the Mexican national anthem.
Huh.
There's Justin Fortune in the corner. For those of you that know Justin Fortune, he's also
good fighter.
He was a good fighter, and he was Manny Pacquiao's conditioning coach for his fight. He's a good guy. I've met him. I've been to his gym, Fortune Gym in LA. If you ever get a chance, just go check out his gym. He's got a nice little gym there.
He was a tough fighter, man. He was a guy that fought on ESPN a ton of times in USA.
Yeah, he's an Aussie.
Yeah.
Justin Fortune. A lot of celebrities go to his gym.
Really?
They'll go and they'll sign up and they'll just train there and they'll just hit the bags and stuff. Oops, sorry about that.
Mickey Rourke. That's a gym Mickey Rourke worked out of. Justin Fortune was his trainer when he was fighting pro.
That's probably why we saw Mickey Rourke in the corner.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, in the dressing room with Chavez.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Chavez does have that. He's got that death stare on right now.
Yeah, and
He's
I've only
he will
seen
not
that a
take his
few
eyes off.
times. And, you don't see that too often anymore.
He
And
looks
that,
like he's ready to go.
oh yeah, he's not psyching himself out right now. This is more like, something is got under his skin, something, and he's ready to just kind of like wipe that memory away. So whatever it is that's going through his head right now, he knows he's got the ability to take all that bullshit away. He could be the man. He could walk out of this ring tonight, and for the first time ever, standing next to his father, people ask for his autograph before they ask for his father's, and that's what I think he wants to see. He wants to make a name for himself. He wants to be known as his own Chavez, and not the son of Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very good point. Very well said. And as we know, okay, Chavez Jr. back with a familiar trainer from his past, Freddie Roach. Uh, Daniel Jacobs for the first time not with Andre Rozier. And I'm not sure if Andre Rozier trained him early in his career, but as we know, he's been with Danny Jacobs for the better part of the last 8 to 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was kind of shocking to me when that happened. I don't know if
He said it was a money dispute. I think it had something to do with I think now don't quote me, I might be completely wrong, but I think they try to cap his earnings, and the standard boxing is 10% to the trainer and 10% to the manager, but I think they try to cap him because obviously the zone is paying big portion. They're overpaying right now.
Yeah.
But I guess it's to continue to build their platform bigger and get those subscribers and whatnot. And you could see that they're overpaying because just as quickly as it was $9 a month, it quickly jumped to $20 a month. I mean, it wasn't even like a small incremental increase. It was like, well, we're gonna increase the your monthly by 100%.
Yeah, and I know they got the hiccups, but at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you, I like the zone. I like the fact that I get to watch. You get to watch some of these big pay-per-view events that would usually cost you, close to $100 or more at the end of the year, maybe even a couple of them, and you're not paying that. Now I understand you're paying a nominal fee coming up, but you can get fights, and there's some other things that go on over there. I'm not a big MMA guy, but if you're an MMA person, there's a lot of mixed martial arts, and I actually saw a cool thing the other day. They had Roman Greco wrestling college. Oh man, these guys are killing each other.
Well, the ESPN Plus app, I really like that one. Lately, though, my stream has been a little bit spotty, but I like that one because
they have good events, but the actual streaming aspect of it is absolutely. My apps for them on my television don't even work for ESPN.
Yeah, there's something going on with
Yeah,
that.
they don't even work at all.
There's something going on with that.
Plus,
So they just the national anthems are now done. We are just moments away. Michael Buffer's in the ring. Where's David Diamante?
probably washing his hair.
They sent him to the showers, dude. They're like, you're done for the night, buddy.
I really like that robe.
We'll have some
That's
nachos.
a really classy act by. I applaud Daniel Jacobs. No matter what happens tonight, I applaud him for being a true boxer, a true fighter, and a true.
Let me ask you a question. How do you think Chavez is going to deal with the speed of Jacobs?
I'm going to tell you right now. He was able to. He had issues with. I don't think it was so much with the speed of Canelo. He had issues with the angles of Canelo and how Canelo comes in punching and bunches from angles. Daniel Jacobs doesn't do that. Daniel Jacobs he's got speed, but Daniel Jacobs is a guy who stands in front of you. So that's where Chavez, he can neutralize that speed with a nice jab or just invoking his overall size on Daniel Jacobs. But that, like I said, the first round is going to say a lot. The first round is going to give us a lot of information right off the bat. Is Daniel Jacobs too polished? Is he too fast for Chavez? Is Chavez going to chase him all night and swing like he's swinging a piece of lumber and not catch him, and it's going to be an easy 12 rounds for Daniel Jacobs? Or is Daniel Jacobs going to basically look like he's going to have to be on his bike staying away from this big bull that's coming after him that looks like he's pissed off? What do you think, bro?
Well, like I said, I think, Jacobs, he, like we said earlier, he's the kind of guy that will stand in trade.
And I think that's a bad game plan. I think that's a bad game plan against a guy like Chavez. I think it is. Andy Lee made that mistake years ago. I know it was at 160. Sergio Martinez made that mistake, amongst others. That's a bad game plan. Canelo never stood and traded with Chavez. He hit him with bunches and then jumped on his bicycle and rode around him because he knew the guy had nothing. He was dead in the water coming into the fight. He was so weight drained.
Yeah, he was weight trained. Yeah.
He's not weight drained tonight.
I mean, that fight was fought at a full 9.5, almost 10 pounds lighter than
Well,
what
you could
he's
see
weighing
it in his
than what he
face.
weighed in yesterday.
Chavez looks healthy tonight. His face is full, not heavy. Looks strong. He's got the people behind him. This could be a big night for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., but we'll see here.
Well, like I said, Vegas setting those odds at 15-1. I mean, unless there's something that I don't see, or something that I'm
Well, I just
right in
think,
front of my face.
well, you got to look at Vegas odds, bro. Vegas odds are based on people and what they're basically betting in there. And let's be honest, a lot of casual fans signed off Julio Cesar Chavez a long time ago, based on his performances against Canelo Alvarez and a few others. So they're basing on what Daniel Jacobs has done of late, rather than what Julio Cesar Chavez has done.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just preparing my scorecard right quick. Excuse me for looking away.
Let me grab.
I still hear that little clicking sound.
It's my headset. I think
You got to get that other thing going.
Oh no, it's just because I moved the thing because I was turning my head.
No, I hear it repeatedly. It keeps going click, click, click.
me
I
take
hear
my-
it the whole time. It goes click, click, click.
It's because I have my glasses on. Let me put it on straight. All right, there we go. We're good now. Better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Here we go.
There we go.
Oh, Sam Watson's in attendance.
Yeah.
He made a quick flight from L.A. Wasn't he there in Ontario today, Sam Watson?
No, Sam wasn't there, but his boys were.
But he was there during the press conference the day before, so
Was
he just
he?
a quick flight. Yeah, a quick flight and then back. So here we go, round one. And yeah, you can see right away Chavez does physically look like the much bigger man, just thicker all the way around.
Yeah, he does actually.
He does look bigger.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Once the punches start flying and stuff.
It's weird at this angle. It must be a blue light shining down there because the top of his head.
No.
looks blue.
His hair is blue on the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't know.
To match those trunks he's got going there.
Yeah, it's a very different. Oh, see, that's what I was telling you about. I mean, he does carry some thunder. Oh, and he just hit Daniel Jacobs with a nice little right hand right there.
That little overhand right, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
And we have the battle of Grant versus Everlast MXs.
again.
We got to do that every fight. No, this is the first time we've seen Grant tonight. So, fight. I mean, Chavez has got Daniel Jacobs. We're a minute into the round, and he's got him backing up now. Now Jacobs is trying to establish that jab. He's jabbing to the body. He's holding his ground a little bit, and Chavez is kind of leading with that left hook. He's kind of finding like how his dad fought. He's kind of not afraid to lead with that left hook.
Oh, I do like the fact that Chavez isn't giving him a stationary target like he did against a lot of other fighters. He's moving a lot better,
Oh, he is. He's moving well. Yeah.
Now can he sustain this? Now there he is. I was talking about, and that body shot right there.
That body shot.
hurt Jacobs right now a little bit. He did. Jacobs grit. I saw the grimace. I don't know if you saw it, but he did. He took a weird backward step. That shot was solid as a
It was
rock.
a very good left hook to the body.
Very good, yeah.
He kind of feinted it upstairs
Well,
and went
was
low.
perfect.
He feinted like to the shoulder and then went low, and it was a nice body shot.
Well, that was all the Caesar Chavez Senior. I mean, right there. That's the one thing
Yeah.
that I told you that he does pull his dad. He's got that ability. Munguia does that. He has this natural
That
ability
left
to
hook to the
flow
body, yeah.
to the body, man.
Now, see, Jacobs trying to come forward. Now, Jacobs is a little apprehensive. I know we're only 2 minutes into the
I think
first
he's
round,
already
but
starting to feel Chavez's power a little bit. And just like with that jab even just kind of like pushed Jacobs back. Now, don't get me wrong. Jacobs, could be playing a little bit of what. But like right there, he came in with a couple
can play a
shots.
little bit of what, bro? You didn't finish your sentence.
No, I said he'd be playing a little bit of possum.
Okay.
Hoping that maybe Chavez will blow his wide. But see, I'm going to tell you right now. Jacobs threw a right hand right now with bad intentions, and Chavez completely fainted, and he slid right off of it. So, I mean.
Yeah, he slid right. He got hit with a little left hook right there, though, Chavez.
Yeah.
Coming out of that clinch, just a little short left hook.
But I like how Chavez, his defense, he's definitely worked on his defense a lot better. But I'd like to see him use that jab a little bit. It is the first round, but I'd like to see him use that jab a little bit more. But that was a nice hook to the body it was a little low. That's one thing Chavez doesn't want to get himself into, where he starts complaining. No, that was a nice lead
right hand
by Chavez.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree with Brian Kinney. That was a good round. I mean, that was a close round, but I think Chavez took that first
Oh,
round.
I definitely gave that first round to Chavez. That first round
Now,
definitely went to
now
Chavez.
Daniel came on about the last 30 seconds of it and landed a couple punches here, but I think for the first 2 to 2.5 minutes of the fight, I think Chavez kind of controlled him, backed him up, landed some jabs, landed a couple good body shots. So
Well, I think just based on that body shot that he landed earlier in the round and stuff, that kind of
Yep.
seemed to stop Daniel in his tracks and stuff, was the best punch of the round. Like I said, I mean, this is not going to be an easy fight. I mean, this fight's just starting. I want to see if Chavez is going to have the gas to keep on this pedal and doing the things he's doing and moving the way he does. Because once he kind of stops giving that little bit of moving action,
he can't become a stationary target.
no, not against a guy like Daniel Jacobs. Daniel
No,
Jacobs
he's
is
got-
a sharp shooter. He'll start landing some sharp punches, and that's going to create problems. for
Yeah,
Chavez.
he can't become a stationary target. Like you said, in that herky jerky stuff he did that first round was effective.
But can he do that for 12 rounds?
Yeah,
or however
we'll
long
see.
it lasts. We'll see. So it was a good first round for Chavez, you know.
I mean, it was a good first round. It was a good first round. It was,
But we could, like I said, there's a lot of fights just starting.
good crowd there in Arizona.
I definitely think it's going to heat up more right now. We'll see.
Yeah. And like I said, Chavez is not afraid to lead with that left hook, whether he's going up or downstairs with it, he's not afraid to lead with that left hook,
Yeah.
I do want to see, like you said, I do want to see a nice jab by Jacobs. Jacobs is kind of starting to get his range now. He's
Yeah.
and missed with that left hook right there. Chavez barely missed with that left hook.
There is a flip side to that, though. I mean, we saw someone like Roy Linares got to go up from 135 to 140. He goes up to 140, and a guy like Pablo Cesar.
See, that's something that Jacobs is going to have to be real careful for. He does that little push jab sometimes, and then he comes in with his shoulder. Against a guy like Chavez who can come over the top and's done it before, where he comes over the top with his right, Jacobs got to be real careful, and that hook almost got him right there.
Yeah, you see Chavez just kind of unloaded right there, just kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the crowd. The crowd
Right there,
kind
he
of got
caught
into
him, caught
that,
him with
but
another little hook. He caught Jacobs with another little hook.
yeah, it
right
wasn't
there.
flush, but it did
No.
land. It wasn't flush, but it landed.
But you can tell he's got power on his punches, because every time he lands, even sometimes he just land on the gloves, it's changing the position of Jacobs.
Yeah, he's moving Jacobs. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've said this before, and I know you've said it too. Chavez is physically a strong guy. He's a strong guy. He's shown it in fights before.
Well,
He's strong.
Yeah, well, you look at that fight against Canelo, having to get all the way down to 164, and then the amount of punches he took in that fight, and he still kept coming.
Yeah.
He just still kept coming. So he's physically a strong kid,
Oh, yeah.
with a good chin.
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, nice. Right. Oh, that body shot and then a hook. I'm telling you, man.
Jacobs did a good job of blocking that
Very
last
good.
hook,
That
though.
last one,
He
yeah.
got his right hand up and blocked that hook. But
But
you can see where Chavez is
Beautiful
coming
sequence
up
by
and
Chavez,
downstairs.
though. That was a beautiful sequence.
Yeah, and he's all levels, upstairs, downstairs, and then back
Yeah.
upstairs.
Something you haven't seen from him since his days at 160. You haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to toot his horn too early and stuff, but I think definitely a good. He's making a good account of himself right now. He's showing, a lot within his, his arsenal as far as what he's doing and stuff. And don't get me wrong, Jacobs is still dangerous at all times. But I just don't know.
Jacobs tried to land that uppercut right there. He tried to throw the uppercut off the hook, the left, and it was it looked pretty, but he didn't land. Chavez saw it coming and blocked it.
No.
Something about when those guys wear the white gloves too, they just look so big.
Well, to
Like,
me-
don't those gloves look so much bigger than the grants?
Well,
that
not only that, as a trainer, I would never let. If I was a trainer, if I would tell my fighters, you're never allowed to wear white gloves, because you can't trick the other fighter. I mean, it's you see everything coming at you. The other fighter sees every punch coming at him.
That was a great defensive sequence right there from
Amazing.
Chavez. Did you see that head movement?
That was, dude. He almost. I don't
Wow.
want to say it, but he almost looked like it was almost like he was been watching a little bit of Vasily Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice.
That was a really good sequence right there. Jacobs
Yeah.
threw 2 or 3 punches, 3, 4 punches, and Chavez stood there and he didn't even throw his hands up. He just moved, and he saw, like you said, he saw him coming.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's breathing a little bit heavy in his corner here with Freddie. But like you said, if he can keep this pace up, this fight can be very interesting.
Jacobs is breathing kind of heavy too. He too is, but I think Jacobs is feeling some of those punches. And I'm telling you right now, I still think that body shot that Jacobs took in the first round, he felt that something changed. Like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong, Daniel Jacobs is a straight up warrior. You know, this guy is not gonna take one backward step.
Look, and I don't want people out there to think we're fanboying for Chavez because
No,
to me, this
no.
is a pick 'em fight. But what I'm a little bit geeked on what I'm seeing out of Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like,
Especially a guy
wow,
that's 15-1 underdog. But
yeah.
we said this though earlier. We've been saying this. I mean, this just kind of fixed what we said. And I have no idea what the hell Chris Mannix is watching that last round, but that's Chris Mannix. You know, he's a guy who's.
Chris Mannix,
Hey,
yeah.
I got. If Chris Mannix ever hears this, I got a little bit of advice for you, buddy. Okay. Oh my God, dude, that's had bad intentions written all over it.
Oh, that right hand.
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah.
gotta throw a little straighter.
It's really hard for me to take anything serious with Chris Mannix because, you know, I don't even think the guy's ever been in a street fight. If he's got a sister, his sister's probably fought more street fights than him. The guy just doesn't come off as the type of person that knows anything about this
There was
sport.
nothing Daniel Jacobs did in that round to win that round.
Nothing.
Chavez, I've got Chavez up 2-0
So
on
do
this
I.
card.
And don't get me wrong. Like I said, Daniel Jacobs is a two-time champion. He's a guy who could turn this fight around. But I'm going to tell you right now, Daniel Jacobs does not possess the power, or rather I should say, Chavez doesn't have a suspect chin like several other people where you're going to think that one punch is going to change his fight. The only thing I see that can change the dynamics of his fight is if Chavez gasses out.
Yeah, exactly. If he comes to stationary target and gasses out, then Daniel will hit that
You see
that
like that
punch
right there I'm
look
talking about
low.
right now? It's like that.
And that little straight right. That little straight right
That's
there.
the kind of stuff that's just going to be a nightmare for Jacobs. And even when he threw that uppercut right now, he only glanced on it. Chavez saw it coming, and he kind of rolled with it a little bit. I don't
He
think...
kind of backed out of that, yeah.
See, this is what guys like Chris Mannix don't see, bro, is even the punches that Daniel Jacobs is throwing on Chavez, and he's landing some, a lot of them are being deflected by the sheer movement and elusiveness right now of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and the way he's positioning himself.
We're a minute left in the third round. I would say so far in this round. I think Jacobs has just thrown and landed a few more punches. So he's winning the round right now. Well, we'll see what happens this last 51 seconds of this round.
Oh, big right hand by Chavez. Best punch of the round.
I think he kind of rolled with it.
He rolled with it a little bit, but yeah,
clutch.
But once
it
again,
wasn't that big, bro.
It's getting, but what I'm saying, but I mean, he's getting closer with that right hand more and more. You're seeing it, you know.
Yeah.
But you see, like I said, I mean, you know, Jacobs he's a little bit more busier this round, but you got to look at what he's landing. He hasn't landed anything that you're. See, that was all flash right there.
Yeah, that was just.
It's gonna do nothing. That's gonna do nothing. It's what Chavez is going to do in return. Now that was a nice little straight right there by Daniel.
Yeah,
Jacobs.
that was a nice little straight right off the ropes. Yeah,
you know? That was better. That's something I'd like to see more from Daniel. Now that's what I'm talking about. Like here, when Chavez does things like that, you know. So this fight, I think, is going to get rough right now. I think it's going to start. It's going to heat up even more.
Okay, so we're going into the fourth round. I've got it 2-1 Chavez so far. I gave that last one to Jacobs. I think that wasn't in question. I think he just landed a few more. He was a little bit busier. But it's a good fight so far. We're going to the fourth round. It's a good fight.
Well, I think it's a better fight than the odds say it was going to be.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I agree with you. I think Chavez's worst enemy right now is his conditioning. If he did his road work and he conditioned himself right, and if he can keep this pace up, it's gonna be a very close fight. But you know, and like I agree with you. I mean, Chavez has never had a suspect chin, and there's nothing that Danny Jacobs has thrown that makes me think, man, if he lands that punch, that's gonna do damage. But
yeah. Oh, you know, see, once again, Sergio Mora is like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, you know. So, because Daniel Jacobs had one little instant where he landed a couple body shots and that, now he thinks the whole dynamics of the fight have been changed. These guys are just well,
it's not just that they think that, it's just the tone of their voice, the intonation of how they say things, you know.
But mark my word, if for some reason Chavez throws a right hand and knocks out Daniel Jacobs, watch how quickly they change everything. You know?
Missed with that left hook, Chavez.
Yeah.
I think Chavez would serve himself to get that jab going again.
Oh, absolutely.
He's kind of abandoned it. He used it pretty well in the first round.
That's what I told you about. if Chavez becomes too stationary and gives the opportunities for Daniel Jacobs, he can't just stand there and take punches.
No. He's got to let his hands go. Be first. Be fast and be first.
Yeah.
One thing to remember too, Chavez has fought exactly 1 round since fighting Canelo Alvarez in May of 2017. So he is certainly not going to be at his sharpest in this fight. He knocked out.
Whoa, those are nice 2 body shots right there. 2 very nice body shots, and another one.
Oh, and he missed the hook though. Yeah.
Oh, he missed the
2
hook,
body
yeah.
shots. Yeah, but he did miss that hook. He tried to come upstairs, but I do like him going up and down and back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not just going one way. He's not just head hunting or body. He's doing both. He understands that's what it's going to take to slow down Jacobs.
Yeah, and Daniel's getting a little bit more comfortable right now with his pace. He's starting to land the jab a little bit more and stuff. He's still not throwing anything with what I would consider bad intentions on it right now. But he's doing what he has to do. It's definitely a Daniel Jacobs round right now. I think Chavez had a good couple body shots. But for the most part, I think Daniel Jacobs is doing the better job this round.
Yeah, they're tying up a little bit more in this round than in previous rounds. They've tied up a couple times.
An off round too for Chavez. I think he's taking this round off a little bit.
Yeah, he's still coming forward, but like I said, he's really not letting his hands go all that much. He's kind of looking for one shot right now.
Yeah.
And he's complaining to the ref about an elbow. I did see Jacobs do that a couple times earlier, where he'll use the elbow to kind of push off. And I mean, if you catch an elbow in the eye or something,
he just did it again right now.
He just did it again right there. Yeah, he kind of does this little
I
crap.
have to be honest with you. I'm gonna go.
Off.
He did it again right there. And it's an illegal tactic. And once again, I'm gonna get back with referees again. We've just got some horrible referees that have just been. That was a nice little hook there by Chavez. So good little sequence by Jacobs.
Yeah, like I said, this is a round where they both have slowed down considerably, and they're kind of leaning on each other a little bit more. He's still going to the body though, Chavez. But I do not like that push off with the elbow from Jacobs.
It's an illegal tactic.
I don't like that. The referee needs to step in and say, "Hey, don't push off with the elbow." It's one thing to push off with the gloves, but he's using the elbow.
Yep. Oh, nice little hook inside by Chavez. But nice little thing. But here goes. See, this is what Daniel Jacobs does not want to do. And he wants to fight, so it's going to get heated up now. Even more.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I do like about Daniel Jacobs is he's a guy like Chavez. I mean, he comes to fight. He's not going to.
Yeah. And Jacobs looks good in this fight. I mean, they both, they both look good. I think Jacobs is warming up a little bit, and I gave him the last 2 rounds. I got this fight even after 4, but like I said, these rounds are kind of razor thin right now. And at the end of that round, Chavez kind of came on a little bit more. He kind of took the first 2 minutes of the round off, and then he kind of came on that last minute. So maybe he said, "Well, let me try to steal this round." So if he can keep that momentum going into the 5th round, this is a close fight. I think Mannix has it 3-1 Jacobs, but I don't see that. I see this even after 4. Let's see. Oh, and see, Chavez just missed the second hook.
He caught that one though inside.
He got hit with the right hand,
yeah,
and that hook, but it didn't do anything to him. I mean, it didn't really phase it, but that was a good sequence from Jacobs.
Exactly.
And now they're standing flat-footed. Now this is the start of the 5th round, and Daniel Jacobs is not on his bike this round. He is standing flat-footed. He's probably saying to himself, "Hey, I can trade with this bigger man."
Yep.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
This is where Chavez has to be first.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, I mean, Daniel Jacobs is that type of fighter where he took a thumb to the eye now. So.
No, he said. I think he was an elbow.
There's a reason why fighters like Canelo Alvarez and Triple G and others didn't fight rematches against guys like Daniel Jacobs because the guy's not an easy fighter. He's a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? It's a kind of fight where you get that victory and you kind of take it and you say, "Hey, you know what? I'm happy I got the victory. I don't want to risk it a second time." So
I don't know what the referee did there. He motioned to the back of his head. Nothing was thrown. I think he needs to caution him about pushing off with the elbow. I mean, he hasn't done it much this round, but it's.
So no, I don't even know. I don't think I've ever seen this referee in my life. I don't know.
I remember seeing him in Arizona a couple years ago, and I was there watching those fights, those top rank fights. I think I saw him there. I just remember being a bald white guy.
Well, I think he's terrible.
That's one thing I don't like is when Chavez squares up like that.
Yeah.
When he steps in and
Well,
squares
that's what we
up.
talked about earlier. When he was giving that little movement that he was
If you're
doing.
going to square up, throw the right hook to the body. Get all that leverage on it. If you're going to square up like that, throw the right. Don't just square up and don't punch.
Oh, that was a
nice right hand by Chavez.
Yeah, I think he hurt Jacobs.
And Jacobs came back with a right hand.
Yeah, he did.
That was a good
but I think he hurt Jacobs with that right hand a little bit, bro. I think he
nice
hurt.
jab. And I tell you, he's got the crowd. The crowd's on their feet right now. Chavez is kind of coming on a little bit this round. Like I said, these rounds are razor sharp. So if you can steal
another
the
right
round,
hand. Yeah, he's I think he buzzed. You can just tell by the punch output how it stopped from Jacobs immediately that he felt that right.
Punch output stopped. That's for sure.
Huh?
You're right. His punch output did kind of like shut down for a minute.
Yeah. He was.
Now he's just kind of pawing a jab a little bit. Yep. Try to land an uppercut, but Chavez saw it coming and just closed the grip and missed. I mean, Chavez did a good job.
Chavez got a little gash, and he's got some blood coming from his nose. He's got a little gash on his left eye, little nick, and a little
and there's blood coming from his nose. I don't know what that was from.
He's had a tendency with his nose for years. Though he bled in the Canelo fight, and he bled in the Fanfare fight really bad.
Might have been one of those uppercuts might have got through that we didn't see. And this is where, like I said, Chavez is kind of letting Jacobs kind of steal this round because he had the momentum, and
his dad sees it right there. It's like, you had it.
Yeah.
That's this a tough.
Yeah, I didn't really see a clean punch.
What do you say right there? Something happened. Fucking Chavez broke his hand.
His hand or his nose?
His hand.
So what do they call him this fight?
Chavez broke his hand.
He stopped the fight? Who stopped the fight, Chavez?
The referee did. He broke his hand. Chavez broke his hand. Yeah. That's not a good thing for Chavez, bro.
No, that was not. He was fighting a good fight too, and I think he's apologizing for the elbows. I think the elbow might have been what opened up that little gash.
No, it's the elbow. I think it's also what it had to do with him breaking his hand. That's what he was saying, something like that. He threw a punch, and he caught something weird, and his hands broke.
Very shocking end of this fight. Very shocking.
It's unfortunate too because I really think Chavez is making a really good account of himself. The fight was just starting to heat up, and it's unfortunate. A lot of people are going to question Chavez's heart, and I don't know if he's going to get another opportunity.
Yeah, this might be it, man. And like I said, he was fighting a good fight. The first 2 rounds he came out and looked really good.
You got people disrespecting Daniel Jacobs, and that's what I don't like to see in boxing. This ain't the Raiders, guys. Have some respect, man. It's a champion in there. He's not the one who made Chavez stop fighting. He just did what he had to do.
Yeah. Yeah, there might have been a little skirmish breaking out in the crowd, but that's it's not uncommon for Phoenix, Arizona. I tell you what, though, man, I gotta say it's a shocking ending here because I thought Chavez was doing well. He was, and like I said, I don't think he took a lot of punches in that fight. I mean, in that 5th round, I didn't see anything really devastating, but something happened. Did he break his nose?
This is getting bad there, man. They're fucking throwing shit everywhere, and
hey, watch the F-bombs, buddy.
Hey, we're allowed to cuss. This is YouTube.
I know. I'm just.
I clicked the thing that says this is not for children.
So what are they? They're throwing stuff. People are throwing stuff.
It's getting bad.
Are they throwing stuff at Chavez or are they throwing stuff at Jacobs?
Jacobs, and they're throwing stuff at Chavez too. I mean, they're upset. They feel it's like, why is it being stopped? It's like.
Well, they did. This is what they did. When Casazu stopped.
I want to see what happened here. I want to see what happened here. So let's see what happened. There's a right hand.
Damn, that was a nice right hand too.
Wait a minute. There's something that happens right. Okay, so he's pulling his hand back right there. Yeah, he broke his hand.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe the case we won't know until obviously they take that hand wrap off and they get a look at it. I'm sure once they get that tape off, it'll start to swell immediately. But
And I know there's a lot of people that are going to question things as far as with Chavez, and I'm not trying to defend him, but being a guy who's broken his hand several times, it's there's not a whole lot you can do, you know. And against a fighter like Daniel Jacobs, you need to have two hands. One hand ain't gonna do it. Yeah, this is really bad. This is at this point, I mean, someone at some point, they,
yeah, people are still throwing stuff. What are you going to do, man? Some people are just, it's too, I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I think we've seen the last of Chavez in a big mega fight, and people are still throwing stuff, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what are they mad at? Are they
they're
throwing
mad.
stuff?
They're mad because they think that the referee stopped the fight because they don't know. They're not listening. They think the referee stopped the fight on Chavez for another reason, and they don't realize that Chavez is the one that said I couldn't fight anymore. His hand was broke.
Yeah, are they gonna try to protect Chavez coming out of the ring like they're throwing stuff at Chavez? I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. I mean, yeah, they're throwing. Well, they're not.
Mickey Rourke's over here blocking stuff for him. Set.
Yeah, and this is ridiculous, because like at the end of the day, whether you love or hate Chavez, the guy, the kid's destiny was kind of like a foregone conclusion. You're the son of probably the most legendary Mexican fighter in the history of boxing, right? I mean, we only can speculate what Salvador
Daniel
Sanchez
Jacobs just
would
got
have
hit
been.
with something bad, and then the guy that was standing next to him, he must have got hit with a bottle or something because like his legs almost went out on him right now.
Well, they don't sell bottles there. I hope.
Well, I don't know. He got hit with
They put
something.
everything- they put everything in
something that
cups.
just hurt him. But I'm thinking to myself right now about like what you were saying right now. And I would tell you right now these rounds, and we got through what? Let me see my scorecard here. What
We
I
got through
I had
5
it dead
rounds.
even- yeah, it was 5 rounds. That was 5 rounds were more entertaining than Terrence Crawford and Kava, whatever, the meat machine.
Well, it was a good fight. I don't know if it was more entertaining, but it
But
was a good fight.
I
It was
think
it was
just
an
heating
even
up.
fight after
Oh,
4 rounds.
I had it dead even. I had
After
2-2.
4, I had it dead even, and then
Yeah.
I gave Jacobs the 5th.
Yeah.
But like I said, only because he stole that last minute of the 5th round. Chavez was doing good in
Chavez
that
hurt
round.
him.
He landed
Well,
that big
Chavez
right
hurt-
hand.
Yeah, and the
That
thing
big
was-
right hand that he possibly broke his right
Let's see
hand.
what they
but we'll
say
see.
here.
Has nothing to do with you and nothing to do with your performance. So let's talk about that. Your debut at 168 pounds. How did you feel out there?
Well, to me, it necessarily wasn't my debut at super middleweight because
They keep throwing shit at him and stuff.
to me he was a cruiserweight. Even his jab was heavy. His whole body, physically, he was a bigger man in the show.
Yeah.
I tried my best to be.
People still throwing. God damn it, Arizona.
He was heavy, and I tried my best to.
Yeah, you're never gonna get Daniel Jacobs there again. You just blew that.
Why can't they throw something at Chris Mannix and hit him in the head?
Oh God, no. I'm happy for Daniel. He's
Look at they're still throwing cups. These guys are, those beers are $15 a pop, and they're just throwing them like.
And I don't feel sorry for him. That's why when I was watching, I don't know if you saw. We'll talk about it in a minute after about the Raiders. Their game. My God, dude, these guys are throwing full beers. I'm thinking, like, dude, you know how long you waited in line for that goddamn beer, and you just threw it,
No,
and
you
it
just-
didn't go but 2 feet. It just spread.
I know.
They're like, I'm gonna knock somebody out with this beer. You didn't knock nobody out,
You
dude.
drink the beer, crush the cup, and throw the cup, but don't
give
throw
them
it with the beer.
Don't give
in
them
it.
ideas. Now you just gave people ideas. Now these guys are gonna start making shivs with their freaking cups at the games. But
No, you at the end. Okay. I hate to use that saying at the end of the day, but I'm gonna say it. At the end of the day, Danny Jacobs looked good. I mean, it took him a couple of rounds to figure out Chavez. Now, granted, Chavez is not one of the elite right now at 168, but he's still a proven guy. But like Daniel Jacobs was just saying in the ring, he said he was like a cruiserweight in there. He's like, he was physically, he felt the weight, he felt the jab, he felt just the power, and the sheer size of the man. So, look at this is I'm excited for Danny Jacobs. I like to see him against a Callum Smith. I think that's a very winnable fight for him.
oh, I
Especially
think it's
based
very
off
winnable.
that last performance that Callum Smith put out. That's a very winnable fight. And I think Danny Jacobs is the kind of guy that will go to the UK and make that fight. You know, he'll go, oh, okay, I'll go to the UK and make that fight.
I think Danny Jacobs will go anywhere in the universe to make a big fight. He's got a lot of heart. He has no fear. He's been in with the best. He's beaten some of the best. He's lost to some of the best. Fought a tough, motivated, and
He's talking about Patrick Day right now.
Yeah.
I love him very dearly. This was a tribute to him. I hope I did very well. I've been proud. I know his family and everyone is watching back home in New York and Long Island.
Everybody's gotta be disrespectful. That just kills me, man.
I'm going to donate the robe that I had in his gloves tonight to his family. And I just want to say he was an angel, and this was for you.
Send him a little bit of that money too that you made tonight.
Well, look at like we talked about. Okay, Daniel Jacobs, 2 of his 3 losses came against the 2 best middleweights of this era, Triple G and Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
And then of course he had the 1 loss, earlier in his career.
And they were both close decisions. Neither one.
Very close fight. So
very close fights.
Here's a guy like I said, everybody's talking about. The guys at 168. You've got Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, Benavidez, Callum Smith. This guy's right in the mix. I mean, he really is. I mean, he was able to handle that sheer size and did some damage. And there's still people throwing stuff here.
I'm just hoping. I'm kind of hoping Brian Kenny gets hit with something. Sergio Mora has got his ghetto face on right now. He's looking around thinking like, I don't want nobody creeping up on me. You know what I'm saying?
He's got his eyes peeled.
Oh yeah. These other guys don't really. Eddie Hearn's he's like, man.
He's got his head on a swivel.
Eddie Hearn, like, this is a $10,000 suit. You got beer on my suit.
I know. These guys turn towards the crowd so they don't get hit in the back of the head with a bottle of beer.
Let me see what he says real quick.
Especially a Mexican warrior with the lineage and the bloodline that Chavez Jr. has. But you can see the disgust in Chavez Sr.'s face because we're not meant to quit. We go out on our shield, and that man has quit twice on the stool. And I can say that word quit because that's what he did. Yeah, I mean...
Very harsh words from Sergio Mora.
Yeah, but though...
when you think you're taking the beating...
and I don't think, well, Brian Kenny needs to shut up because Chavez wasn't taking a beating. It's very confusing why he quit.
Well, yeah, he took some shots in that 5th round and his nose started to bleed and then that cut opened up. But I don't think that cut was from a punch. I think it might have been from one of those earlier elbows. And he warned Chavez knows once he got hit and he felt it, he looked at Daniel and he said like this and he pointed at his elbow like, don't hit me with the elbow. But that's neither here nor there. Those are harsh words from Sergio Mora. And,
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it because how I felt going into this fight. I actually kind of feel sorry for Chavez a little bit because he's a guy that's never going to live up to his father. He'd have to go back and start all over again.
Well, and
up to his father.
And the sad thing is, it looks like he actually worked to get ready for this fight.
Yeah,
you saw some flashes of some things that he was able to do. But the thing is that what I think Sergio has to understand right here. I understand he's emotional. And he's holding more towards La Raza. This has nothing to do with La Raza. This has to do with the fact that we don't know what happened to Chavez. And at the end of the day, unless you're Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., not even his own father, nobody knows why he stopped the fight, when he stopped the fight, and what injury he sustained. Because he was making a very good account of himself. He was in this fight. I had the fight dead even. He was landing the bigger punches.
Well, no, we went through 5 rounds, so I think...
No, I'm saying coming up to that point... I had given
after
that round
4 rounds, you had it dead even. I did as well.
So they're showing real quick before that goes. They're showing a couple of things here. Fights coming up. You got Jaime Munguia versus Spike O'Sullivan on January 11th. I don't really care about the MMA fight. Andrade versus Keeler. I'm not sure who Keeler. I don't know if that means like Keebler Elf or whatever. January 30th though. Demetrius Andrade, who thinks he's the boogeyman. He's gonna fight Keeler. And then you got the big fight. You've got Jesse Vargas, who's from Las Vegas, against Mikey Garcia, which on February 29th. So those are all going to be, there's going to be some interesting fights. I want to do a take, not tonight, but I want to do a take on Andrade, who I think is another guy who keeps, saying, nobody wants to fight me, and everybody's like, I don't know, man.
Why don't he go to 168 and fight Danny Jacobs? That'd be a good fight.
Well, his whole thing was he said he was even trying to say something. Danny Jacobs made the argument Andrade didn't want to fight. Andrade wouldn't fight Danny Jacobs at 160. He's not going to fight him at 168. Andrade is like, I hate to say it, but he's no different than Terrence Crawford. He makes it look like everybody's running from him, but it's the way it's timing, bro, in boxing. You know that. It's timing. You can't just come out and win a fight and go, okay, now this is who I won. Because that guy might have just fought. So now he's kind of off for a while, or maybe he suffered an injury. It's timing when you can get two opponents. Sometimes it takes a couple fights, and then they match up. Andrade always seems to pick the guy when the guy's already scheduled to fight a fight. And I notice this is the norm with him almost every time. Because I know for a fact, Jamal Charlo made it perfectly clear. He was like, man, he's all, what do I got to do? He's all, you want me to staple the contract to your back? You know, it didn't make any sense to me. So I don't want to hear about Andrade. He hasn't impressed me at all with his last couple performances as far as what he's done. He's another guy that flies under the radar. I think if he did step up to 168 and fought against Billy Joe Saunders, I think Billy Joe Saunders played a little possum in that last thing. I think he did it because it was on that KSI, whatever, that garbage thing that they're putting together. And I think he beats Andrade handily. Handily. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, that was it tonight. So if you just joined us late, Julio Cesar Chavez retired after the 5th round in his corner. He never even sat on his stool in that corner. He went right to the corner and stood up, and they were wiping the blood out of his nose. And he motioned towards his hand, but I know his nose was bleeding pretty good. So we don't know what happened really. We probably will never know.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's a shame too because the fight was heating up, and I thought it was a pretty good fight after 5 rounds. But you know,
and I thought Chavez had some glimpses where he actually did some really good stuff in there. I mean, his defensive
looked good
skills.
for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, but we talked about that earlier too. Could he do it for 12? Or is he going to gas out? You know, and maybe that's it. I mean, I don't know. But
yeah, he wasn't necessarily gassed out, but like I said, you could see that he was having to really expend a lot of energy to keep up with that pace. You know,
I wish the kid the best. I hope he's just happy.
I do as well. I don't want to hear
decisions. I don't want to hear anything bad happen to him. I don't want to hear people question him because Sergio Mora is saying all that stuff right now. But I'll tell you right now, Sergio Mora wouldn't say that to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s face. Okay, people can get pissed off and say, you know, that Rasa bullshit. Okay, Sergio should know better than anybody. Unless you know what's going on in a fighter's head, don't assume. You know, don't just assume that you think.
Yeah,
you know.
that's
You
a
don't
punch
know-
move
you
for
don't
him
know
to
what this-
basically call him a quitter.
Yeah, you don't know what this kid goes through 24/7. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
You don't know what it took him to even step through those ropes this
Exactly.
time. You just don't know. So you don't know.
So Sergio
You
Mora
don't
just
kick a
needs-
man when he's down, man, because every dog has their day. Don't
Thank
kick a man
you.
when he's down.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. So let's look at the negative. I look at it, this fight as a positive. Positive in the sense that Julio Cesar Chavez, even in defeat, showed some flashes of what he used to be. And he didn't come in and he didn't come back after such a long time, which you can almost look at almost 2 years because that Bravo fight meant nothing.
Yeah, they said he had one round in 2 years.
And fight against some, tomato can. He came back and fought Daniel Jacobs, one of the best fighters in the world today. And he for 5 rounds, he made a pretty good account of himself. So that tells me if he goes back, if he's not too injured and he's able to come back and get himself and keep himself in that shape and that motivation, he could still be a force at 168, depending on where his head and his heart is. Now on the other win-win situation, Daniel Jacobs makes a good count of himself at 168, and I think he puts himself in that game format with, there's some guys out there where there's possible matchups. You got Callum Smith, obviously. I think Callum Smith and Caleb Plant are two guys that are that I would, if I was their trainers and managers, I would avoid Daniel Jacobs, because especially Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, I think is an easy night's work for Daniel Jacobs. I think Callum Smith, based on his sheer size, can be a little bit more difficult of a something to do.
Because he fights tall. He fights like
he
a
does
big
fight
guy.
tall. Caleb Plant doesn't.
Yeah.
Caleb Plant doesn't have any kind of a punch. Daniel Jacobs, I think he's gonna take Caleb, and I hope, honestly, I really want to see that fight happen, because I used to really the way Caleb Plant was fighting earlier, and he just really kind of got very narcissistic and it's, but you gotta look at the people he's fighting. He isn't fighting anybody at all. I mean, the level of fights, the competition he's fighting is just bare minimum. He's another guy.
Like I said, he's a guy that won that title, and I don't even know. Honestly, I have no idea if he's even scheduled for a fight coming up. I know he fought the guy Mike Lee, which, come on, man. I mean, nothing against. I mean, the guy Mike Lee. I mean, everybody saw the writing on the wall. It was that guy didn't even deserve to be in the same building as a world champion.
No.
Let alone Caleb Plant, who is a skilled fighter. He's a good fighter. I mean, he's got some skill, but does he even have a fight scheduled? I mean, he won the title against Uskatagi, right, in a unanimous decision. Never fought the rematch. I thought those guys were going to maybe do a rematch. Then fought Mike Lee. So,
And
I
then
mean,
that's done.
who's his next fight going to be against? I mean, I can guarantee you it ain't going to be nobody in the top 10. It ain't
No.
going to be Benavidez. I can
No,
guarantee you that.
they'll pull up a mid-level guy from the middleweight division. They'll have a guy step up.
You
know
know,
what
guy
I'm
step
saying?
up and he's going to try to.
Well, there was one fighter that I heard possible rumors about him fighting and stuff, and I don't know if there's any truth behind everything, and that's David Lemieux. They've been talking about. If that does happen, David Lemieux has ventured into that weight division before. If that does happen, it's an interesting fight. I know David Lemieux in his last fight, he wasn't overly impressive. He won the fight, but I know he got dropped.
No, he almost got knocked out. David Lemieux's best days are behind him.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's in a weird situation because for some reason he can't make that 160 anymore, but he's not big enough to fight 168.
Yeah.
He's only 5'9".
He's got heavy feet or
not a
heavy
tall
head
guy.
or something. I don't know what his problem
He
is.
carries a lot of his weight in his midsection down through his legs.
Yeah.
He's stocky and thick there, so he doesn't. He's in a weird
spot.
he needs. If there was a division at 164, that would be his division because he can't make 160,
Yep.
and he's not big enough for 168. He's just not.
Well, and then tomorrow, obviously, we got. So once again, like I said, I say congratulations. I'm not going to say just to one. Congratulations to both Julio Cesar Chavez and to Daniel Jacobs for putting on a good performance tonight. It's unfortunate how the fight ended, but for the 5 rounds that we were watching, it was entertaining. It was better than what the Vegas odds put out there. I'll tell you that. So we don't know what the end result will be, and I'm sure we'll find out here within the next few days what exactly happened with Chavez. Hopefully, we do. But I don't agree with Sergio Mora and him. Like you said, kicking a guy when he's down. They don't know.
Yeah, don't kick a man when he's down because, like I said, you don't know where.
Well,
You don't
especially
know.
boxing's a small world, and believe me, Sergio Mora is in that same little realm. And believe me, you don't. At the end of the day,
I mean, look, at the end of the day, Sergio Mora, you're not a fighter anymore. You were a fighter, and you were a
Yeah.
good fighter. You weren't a great fighter, but you were a good fighter. So
he wasn't even
you know,
a fighter at Chavez's level. He wasn't. He was fortunate with his fights that he did have. His fight with Daniel Jacobs. He was fortunate when he won the title against Vernon Forrest. Okay, but that wasn't a top-notch Vernon Forrest at that time. So the thing was,
And am I right in saying that when he lost to Jacobs the second time, he retired from some kind of ankle injury or something like that?
He did.
I mean, people could very well say, "Oh, well, you quit because you were starting to get, you were starting to take shots and you quit."
Well,
but
that's the thing I'm trying to say is that his loss to Chavez's loss to Fanfare had nothing to do with him. He was doing well in that fight. He got hurt in that fight physically. I think it was his shoulder or his arm. Something happened. You've seen it before, Mike. And go back to with Chon Zepeda. Things like that happen in boxing. And, a person gets hurt like that, and some guys are able to pull through it depending on how severe the injury is. We don't know what happened to Chavez. If this is the same, we were just talking earlier today about a young fighter that works at the gym that suffered, and I don't want to keep it nameless, but I mean, who suffered he re-injured something. And that's unfortunate because sometimes that happens. You get this lingering injury that no matter how much time goes by, it comes back, And it's unfortunate, but Chavez may be in that situation. Nobody knows. It could have been his shoulder, it could have been his arm. I just don't see him. He doesn't come off to me as a guy that would just quit. Because he took a beating from Canelo Alvarez for 12 rounds. He could have quit at any fucking time, and no disrespect, and he didn't do it. So why is he going to quit against Daniel Jacobs in a fight where he's competitive? That's what Sergio Mora doesn't see. I'm competitive against a guy. I'm in a fight with a guy, but I'm going to quit. But I'm in a fight where my face is a freaking punching bag against a guy who, I'll tell you right now, Daniel Jacobs hits hard, but Canelo Alvarez hits harder. Just because he's got sheer leverage on his punches and he knows how to place his punches a little bit better. But the bottom line is, he didn't quit. And
it's very it's shocking. It's shocking. But
Sergio's trying to pull that thing like, well, he quit, because he's not a man. Well, whatever. I want to tell Sergio, you have that conversation with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. one day when you run into him at the 2020 club down in Las Vegas. Okay, when you guys run into each other, have that conversation with him, and I'm sure Chavez Jr. will have plenty to say to you. Okay, Sergio the Snake Mora. Whatever. Okay, so
let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So that was it for this fight. I mean, once again, Julio Cesar Chavez retires after 5 rounds against Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs wins his first fight at 168. Looked good, and that's it. I mean, we're on to the next fights. Tomorrow will be tomorrow. You have the fights on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports. We'll get together and set up something to cover those. I think you might be covering those fights tomorrow, AJ. I'm not going to be available, but
Yeah, I know you have that other event, and maybe you can call in afterwards and maybe kind of give me your post-fight analysis on the fights afterwards, depending, or maybe we'll do it on,
No,
or
we
we'll
should-
just cover it on Monday, because we're going to fights on Sunday for.
there will be a fight on Sunday at the Quiet Canyon in Montebello. Some local fights. It's a all-star boxing card there. I think there's like 6 or 8 fights. We'll be there Sunday. So maybe Monday we'll do our post-fight wrap-up after the whole weekend, and then we'll just wrap everything up on Monday.
Yeah, and I don't. We'll talk about that more. But yeah, that'd be great. And then we could just do the whole Monday night wrap-up and stuff. But hey, good thing tonight, bro. I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. I'm starting to burn out.
We got somebody asking a question here on the chat.
What do we got? Let's see here. What are they saying?
So anyway,
What was the question?
why did Chavez quit?
Well, I mean, I'll let you answer that.
I did.
Yes, I mean,
Well, like I said, I mean, they're potentially a broken hand. We don't know. To me, his nose was bleeding quite a bit. Maybe a broken nose. We really don't know. We didn't really get any clarification in the corner. But
Yeah.
it was a competitive fight. He was losing the fight after 5 rounds, but it was competitive. I had it 3 rounds to 2 for Jacobs.
yeah.
But we don't know why he quit. But
But like I said,
we may never know. So.
we may never know. And like I said, we wish the best for the kid, and hopefully we'll see him another day. But tomorrow we got Harrison Charlo too. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good bout. We were at the weigh-in today. We didn't really get to talk about it too much today. We'll try to chime in a little bit tomorrow. I know my brother's tired. I'm tired. It's been a long day of boxing. We were in Ontario for the weigh-ins, and then doing this tonight and stuff. So, Mike, I'm gonna let you go ahead and close us out, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching us on End of the Ring, guys. End of the Ring Live, and we'll catch you guys next time. Have a good, enjoy the fights tomorrow, and have a good, safe weekend.
Good night, everybody, and remember to subscribe and go to our official website at enterthering.buzz.
And hit the like button.
Hit the like button and the notification. I don't know that.
And the little bell button.
I'll see you tomorrow, my brother. Love you, bro. Bye.
Bye.